I'm here on the first tee at the beautiful Burley Park Golf Club, and I want to talk to you about arriving right here, ready to go, fully prepared to play your absolute best golf. And that starts with all the preparation you do beforehand. There's loads of things you can do and ways you can prepare to make sure when you arrive on the first tee, you are ready to play your absolute best golf. Dirty clubs can have a really negative impact on your performance, especially when you're looking to generate spin on approach shots into greens and those finesse shots around the putting surfaces. You want to make sure your clubs are always as clean as they possibly can be, but especially if you've got a big round coming up. What you want to do is leave them to soak for a little while in some warm, soapy water. Don't leave them for too long, but just long enough to really soften up any dirt and grime and get it out. Whip them out, give them a quick wipe off, and you'll see there's still probably a fair bit of dirt in the grooves. So a toothbrush is a really good thing to use, also an old wire brush. You can get specific tools for it as well, and give it a little scrape right into the grooves. That should remove any debris, any mud that's compacted in there. Give them another little dunk and a wipe off, and they are absolutely ready to go. You have got shiny clubs ready to hit the first tee. A good night's sleep is an essential but underrated ingredient when it comes to playing good golf, and you don't want to be hungover either, so try and keep the drinking to a minimum the night before, maybe just 1 or 2 beers if you're treating yourself. But with that in mind, I'm heading off, so I'll see you in the morning. So after a good night's sleep, I am as fresh as a daisy. I'm super chilled because I know all my gear is packed up in the car, ready to go, and I've planned my day. I've left myself plenty of time to get there and go through all of my routines before I tee off. And I know even if there's a little bit of traffic, I've got enough leeway. I'm calm, I'm chilled, and I'm ready to go. Something that's really going to help you play your best golf and score better, and can be done really at any time before you play, is to build a strategy for the golf course you're going to be going up against. Now, if it's your home club, you probably know it like the back of your hand. You know where to go, where not to go, what clubs to hit in certain places. Rather than just think that in your mind and maybe recall it or not, write it down. Get it down on paper how you're going to attack each hole, what clubs and what strategy are going to give you the best opportunity to shoot the lowest scores. And the important thing is, once you've got a strategy, stick to it. No matter how things are going, if you have a brilliant start or a horrible start, we see it so often from the pros, they say, I just stuck to my strategy, I did what I set out to do. Have a look through, get a course planner, decide exactly how you're going to play every hole, and try and do just that when you get out on the course. What you eat and drink has a huge impact on how your mind and body feels in general, as well as when we're playing golf. So it's really important that you eat right and get hydrated before you play golf. Exactly what that means for you is going to depend on your tee time. If you're going out bright and early, maybe a bowl of porridge, something with slow release energy is great. If you're teeing off at a bit of a funny time, maybe midday, you might normally actually be eating when you're teeing off or not long after. Try and build your meals that day around your golf so you're fully fueled for the full 3.5, 4.5 hours that you're out on the golf course. And we often overlook staying hydrated. You always need to drink way more than you think, and it can really affect you mentally as well as physically if you are dehydrated. Always have at least one of these bottles with you. Keep sipping on it as you go through your warm-up, and when you're out on the course, don't forget, reach for this and have a swig. So we're in the range, but before you go reaching for those clubs, it's really important to have a bit of a stretch, warm up your muscles, get them nice and loose and get the blood flowing. The golf swing itself is a really athletic motion. There's lots of twisting and there's lots of speed in it. So if your muscles aren't ready for that, they're A, not going to perform at their best, and B, you leave yourself open to picking up injuries. And that's awful because we don't want anything that's going to stop us playing golf. So what stretches should we be doing? There are loads and loads out there. I'm just going to show you a couple of my favorites. And because golf is a full body action, it's important to try and get a little bit of movement and stretching right the way up your body. So a really dead simple one to start, gets the back of your legs and your lower back, cross your legs over and just bend straight over as far as you can. I can only just get to the floor. If you can't, that's not a problem. Just take it until you feel the stretch and hold it there for about 20 seconds. Repeat on the other side, and then that should loosen up right up the back of your legs. Another really good one is because we've got this turning and twisting motion, and a lot of that comes from around the hip area and the upper body, is just sort of start rotating your hips. Press them as far forward as you can feel and as far to each side. When you get to the sort of points on the clock, just hold it and feel that stretch in each area. That will really get your hips used to this sort of motion. And then we move in to the upper part of the body, the arms, the shoulders. For this, you can actually grab a club. So take a club, stick it behind your back like this, and just turn as much as you can. Have a little bit of flex in your knees as well, similar to the golf swing, and just hold it. That's gonna increase the amount you can actually turn in your golf swing, which is also going to bring greater speed and hopefully more distance as long as you can control it. There are loads of stretches you can do. Those three are a great place to start, but please do make sure you stretch before you hit any golf balls. Once you're stretched, it's time to get the clubs out and hit some balls. Now, do not reach straight for the driver. Go in low, go with a wedge, one that you're going to hit a lot during the round as well. It's a shorter club, it's an easier swing, a bit more finesse, and it allows you to really ease yourself into your practice session. From there, what I'd recommend doing is working your way up through the bag. You don't have to hit every single club, but maybe jump every 2 or 3. Make sure there's a wedge in there, make sure there's a short iron, a mid iron, a long iron or hybrid, and then your 3-wood and your driver. Now, what you're looking to achieve here is familiarity. Remember, this is a warm-up, it's not a practice session. You're not going to drastically change what you're doing in these 15 or 20 minutes on the range before your tee time. This is about grooving a little bit of what you've got, but most importantly, finding out what your swing is doing that day. Where is the ball going? And what are you going to be able to do on the golf course to use that ball flight and the shots that you're hitting on the range to get round in the lowest score possible. Just finally, a really great little tip, before you head to that first tee, your last few shots in the range can be playing the first few holes in your head. If it's a driver that you need to hit a little bit of fade off the first tee, hit that. If that's going to leave you a 9-iron, then hit the 9-iron. If you've got a par 3 coming up that you know requires a specific club, practice hitting that as well. The familiarity of hitting those shots just before you go out onto the course will fill you with confidence when you face them under pressure. It's so important that you go to the chipping and putting green as well. I know it can be tempting to spend all your time hitting balls in the range, or even just wander on, chuck a ball down, 2 or 3 putts, and then off you go. But I promise, any time spent chipping and putting before your round is time well spent. And that's for a few reasons. First of all, when you're chipping, not only are you practicing those shots, working on your action just a little bit before you go out, but it gives you a real sense of the firmness and the speed of the greens. If you see how it reacts on the chipping green, with any luck, the greens out on the course will be very similar. It enables you to not only judge what you're doing with your short game, but also on your approach shots. How's that ball going to react? Are the greens soft? Can I fly it all the way? Or are they firm? That's going to make a huge difference to how you play a lot of shots out on the golf course. When you are practicing your chipping, don't just give yourself a perfect lie all the time either. Try a few little funky lies. If you know the course, you'll know the type of shots you're most likely to face. Those are the ones you want to be hitting and getting confident with on the chipping green before you head out. Once you've finished up chipping, make sure you head into the bunkers as well to hit a few bunker shots. Of course, the sand will be different from course to course and depending on the weather you've been having. So you really need to familiarize yourself with the bunkers on that day. And then time for the flat stick. There's a few things you're looking to do on the putting green before you head out onto the course. First, you're getting the pace. So head to a spot about 40 feet from the fringe of the green, a relatively flat putt, and just putt to the apron. You're not worried about a specific target like a hole. You just want to gauge that pace and calibrate your stroke to the speed of the greens on that day. Then you can get into some more hole specific stuff. A drill I really like to do is the round the world. Chuck 3 or 4 balls around the hole, any sort of distance you like really, from 2 to 10 feet. You can vary it up as well depending on how much time you've got. That will enable you to see how the ball is breaking from different slopes on different sides of the same hole, and also see the ball going in as well. And finally, before you leave the putting green, you want to be heading to that first tee brimming with confidence. So you want to see a putt going into the hole. Chuck a ball down no more than a foot from the hole, a putt you cannot possibly miss. Line it up, ram it in with confidence, and head to that first tee. I hope you found all of those tips really helpful and they will get you well and truly prepared the next time you tee it up. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If we've missed anything, any little hints and tips you've got, add them in the comments below. Remember to subscribe to this Golf Monthly YouTube channel. There's so much great content coming your way. And as we're all done here and I'm fully prepared, I'm heading out onto the course.